Pasha Pyro, YNet7. Thank you for tuning. The replay. Big board pep for my peeps. Alright, so today's a good day to talk about something. And we're gonna review a comment, and we're gonna review CGIX, and let's begin. Thank you for tuning the replay. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, get all the detail. Okay? So red day today. It was down the lovely number of 77750. Like, you can't ask for a better number. So we down 77750 today. However, that puts us up for the week. I guess, what were we at? 28 something, 29, 24, then a 9. I guess we're at about like 50. We're up 5,500 for the week. I don't know, something like that, right? So I'm noticing that Thursdays lately seem to be that day. You know what I mean? So I'm not really moved by this. Like I said, for the week, we still up 5,500 plus that 5,500 at least. You know what I mean? So approximately, you know what I'm saying? So overall, it's been good. It's the first red day in, like, I don't know, since we got back in last Monday. This is our first red day since not this Monday that just passed, but the Monday before last. So, you know, we doing all right. Big board pep for my peeps. Okay, so now here's some commentary from the comments, and I thought about it, and it was a good opportunity to, one, run the analytics, and two, to go over something, because I'm really particular about things. And so here, I get text messages, I get questions from people that I meet, especially, or that I've met, and they know, you know, that this is what I'm into, or one of the things I'm into. So I get questions, right? And I'm not saying, and this, you know, this is not directed towards Mr. Joseph Turner here, but it made me think about some things, and I thought it was a great opportunity to discuss it with you all and see how you feel about this. Because one of the most, there's a reason why I don't ever tell you what to do. And I stress that I'm not a professional or expert, and I'm just sharing my notes with you, but it's a very particular reason why I say that. Obviously I feel like I'm doing okay with it, right? But I never tell you what to do, even when I know what's going to happen, like, know for sure, and I'm telling you this is what I'm going to do. I never tell you what you should do. I tell you the value, you know what I mean? But I'm not telling you what to do. And there's a reason for that, because I'm not responsible for you, right? Now, let me go over why this is what made this interesting for me, because this is a very good conversation, and there's no negativity here, but I wanted to have this dialogue with you because, like I said, I get calls and people will be like, hey, look, this is what's going on right now with the stock, and what should I do? And it's like, it's really awkward. It's really, you got people out there that'll tell you, hold on, this is what you should do. Well, I don't do that, right? I don't do that, because what you should do is based on what your plan was. See, what your play is. You see what I'm saying? Like, even if you call an audible at the line on football, you can only call audibles based on your current formation. Like, you can't call an audible that you don't have. And I don't watch sports or anything. You guys know that, but I used to play football when I was younger, and we made a lot of money off of Madden, playing Madden. You know what I'm saying? And So I have we watched football when I was younger, but I haven't really watched TV in like 10 years. I had one season when, anyway, we'll talk about that later. But there's like one football season I followed from the second game as a little sport, little joke. Everybody was like, "You need to pick a team. You can't be in here with no team." And I was like, "You know what? I don't do it, but you know what? Just to show y'all, my psychic ability. Nah, just to show y'all, I'm gonna tell you, it's the second week. I'm gonna rock with Carolina. I mean, I was calling like touchdowns during the game, like minutes before they happened. So it was kind of interesting. And it wasn't because I'm an expert at players or expert at sports. It's because there's certain energies and certain controlling factors that I think dominate sports. And that's how it's so accurate. They wound up going to the Super Bowl, but they lost. All right. So anyway, here's where I'm getting at. So I get the calls, I get the texts, I get the conversations, and it's like at that moment I can't tell you what to do because what you should do is based off of what your play is. So you can't call an audible, even though you're going to call an audible, if you don't have the right personnel in. You know what I mean? Like you got to be in a certain package to be able to audible or shift to another package and be effective. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't got enough, you can do it, but it's not going to be effective. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't got the right blocking package in there, you can't audible to a play that requires blockers in certain positions, because if your wide receivers aren't as effective as the blockers and you put them in a blocking position, the play might fail just for that reason. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm getting at is your mindset when you went into something. If I wasn't there talking to you with it, I can't tell you what to do. And there's be people that I'm talking to you about this because, not like I said, it was an afterthought of this conversation, but it's something I deal with quite often. You know what I mean? For people that got my number or people that have access to me, and I like the exercises, but I always wind up telling them the same thing. I can't tell you what to do because I don't know what your play was, what your goal was, what you were trying to accomplish when you got in it. You see what I'm saying? Like if you look at the comments, and not the comments, but in the description, I always say, know why you're in a stock, not just why you're in that company, but why you're in that stock down to the penny. Like, you got to know why you're in that stock at this very, not just moment, or not just because they're great to do this or you think it's a great company, but why are you in the stock at this price point? You see what I'm saying? At this exact dollar amount. $6.19. Why are you in there at 19 cents instead of waiting to being at $6.45? If you don't know that, I think there's room for growth. And that's just my personal observation and opinion. Okay? It's how I operate. Okay? So when people come to me and they ask me questions midstream, I can't tell you what to do because I don't know why you're there. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you are walking with me and you're like, I did everything you said, then now I could talk to you, because right or wrong, I can tell you why we entered, why we are at this point, what we're looking for, where we're at right now in comparison to where we want to be, what, based on where we're at now, what conditions should we exit, what conditions should we, I can talk to you about it then. Because I know the whole vision. I'm not one of those people that's gonna bullshit you or pretend to be some guru or expert and have the magic answers for everything if I don't. And if a person comes to you with ideas of what they should do, I'm okay with telling you I don't know at that point, because I don't know what you should do, because I don't know why you're got in. I don't know why you're there now. I don't know what you're trying to do with it. If you want to keep it long, and you think it's going to go up, then all this talk may not even matter, because you just waited out and 6 months down the road, you're up $50 a share. I don't know what your game plan was. So how can I give you a realistic decision? Right. So let's take a look at how this conversation went. Again, I support Joseph. I don't know him personally, but thanks for supporting the channel. And what we can run through this, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So his first opening comment was, I bought CGIX and I'm down $500, thinking of doubling down just because. Now, the part that gets me, right, with this first statement is I'm thinking of doubling down just because. I mean, just because I would like to see if this was somebody that I was close to and like we've been rocking out for a minute, and I always have the best interest for all y'all in mind, all of you. And this is why I responded this way, okay? Because when you tell me you're doing something just because, even if it's something that you're doing in life, I'm very, very, very focused on purpose. And this is not to, I'm sharing about myself so we can get to know each other better. How about that? Okay. So I'm very, 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 when you talk, this channel is all about energy readings, frequencies. Like this, I know this is stocks, but I got a tarot section. I got an etymology section on this channel. It's all energy to me. Law of attraction, focus, right? So when I hear somebody say they're doing something just because, being a Virgo, that's like scratching on a chalkboard, because it's like, why? Like there's no, like we're so goal oriented Virgos that like, even when we have fun, like having fun has a purpose. like I'm the type that's like, okay, yo, what you doing? Yeah, I know it's been a minute. Look, you want to go? I'm gonna come grab you up. We're gonna go play laser tag. Laser tag? What? Look, we're gonna go play laser tag because we're gonna put, for every dollar we put down, we're gonna get like 5 things, right? We're gonna get fun. We're going to get a workout because each laser tag session is like 15 minutes long. We're going to do 3 sessions. We're going to run around. We're going to get tactical defense and offense exposure training. We're going to get team building exercise. And then whatever else, right? You get where I'm going with that. Like, and it's like, damn, you can't just go have fun. No, there's a reason for everything with me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I don't really apologize that often, but yeah. I'll be there in an hour. You know what I'm saying? Or like, otherwise I'm not doing it. So I don't find fault in anybody else's thing, but like, I can't even have fun without having a reason for it. I mean, because I'm so focused on where I'm trying to get to, and everything has to fit in to my goal. So that's like scratching on a chalkboard for me. So when I hear just because, and I'll get to why that's important in a moment when we get to the chart. All right, so that's the thing. So I said, hey, look, I've learned to never catch a falling sword. My friend, that's not my quote, but it's something I hang on to. I didn't make that quote up myself, but it's something I hang on to always remind me about the falling sword thing. And it really works for me. So, and I said I would wait for it to establish a new floor or exit completely to cut losses, right? Because either you're in it knowing you're waiting for it to do something and go somewhere else, and this is just like part of the journey, or it caught you off guard, and if it's not doing what you thought it was supposed to do within the time frame that you set for yourself, then it may be time for you to cut your losses. So I only got a couple options. Like, I don't know just because, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, it's like a short circuit moment for me. Now, here's where I don't go any further. I say, yet the choice is yours. I applaud everyone that's actually in their arena making their own plays, because a lot of people are sitting on the sideline watching me, watching Joseph, watching you do this, and whether they're in support or they're talking shit about you behind your back, they're not in the arena. So I applaud everybody in the arena doing their thing. Okay? Now, I don't bet anything I'm not willing to lose. I'm overdue. Okay? All all right, at this point, respect. That sounds like you know what you're doing. Respect. I'm gonna run the analytics for you in the video today, and I can break this down for you, bust it down for you, right? So, because at that point I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel conflict in the statement because it says, the first statement says I bought CGIX and I'm down $500 thinking about doubling down just because. And then you're saying I don't bet anything I'm not willing to lose. So we're saying bet. We're focusing on losing, and the I'm overdue part, I don't know. So here's what I'm getting at. When you have your purpose and you design a plan, it's no longer a gamble. It's not a bet. It's an execution. You see what I'm saying? It's a question of, did you execute the plan or not? Like, so for the people watching me and learning from the channel, and we're all in this together. So don't look at Joseph as anything. Again, I'm not perfectly executing every single, precise millisecond. So we all have room to grow here. And I actually appreciate comments because it gives the group an opportunity to learn something. You know what I mean? So this is a great opportunity for me to discuss my view, my perspective, and share it with you. This is not an attack on Joseph. This is not anything like that. He just happened to make the comment, and I think it's excellent. A lot of people feel the same way. They're doing the same thing. So some of you guys are going to learn from his perspective. Some of you are going to learn from me. Some of you are going to learn from both. And that's the value of this channel when you actually engage. Okay? So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and get in the comments so we can all grow together. Okay? Shout out to Joseph for being bold enough to have a fucking comment, and all the other people that's commenting. We get all these views on this channel, and it's like, yeah, we getting likes and stuff too, but where's the conversation about it? You see what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all watching me, but let's talk about this. Okay, so let's get back to the focal point, right? So what I'm getting at is when you have a plan, now it's just a simple matter. Because see, I'm not emotional. I don't operate on emotion. So to me, it's an execution of a plan. And that's where, like, people will say I'm emotionally unavailable and stuff, because it's like, we're executing this plan. This is the destination. We're going to get there, or we're going to get there. Like, there is no, you know what I mean? Or you got to, completely, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to overcome all obstacles, or the plan is aborted. Like, there's no in between. Like, you either made it or you failed. Like, there is no second place, right? So, all right, that's just how I look at it. So let's take a look at this, because let's get to the stock so I can tell you what this translates to me, okay? So when we look at this, all right, when we go to CGIX, I talked to y'all about, I saw it, I bought into it. I meant to bring it to you like that day, which was the 8th. But I had other stock that I thought was more important that you got rooted in at that price point. So I wanted to give you that one first. So I just threw 100 shares on this one, and it just happened to like blow up the next day from at that point I got in at 732. So that's this circle right here. All right. And I'm going to put this all together for you on why I can't, you know what I mean? So when you say you telling me you know what you're doing, then fine. And I know you didn't ask me a question, but I like to just interact with the comments on my page. So here we go. Now for me, right, I got in at 732 here in the after hours. And then it went to 1742. So it went up $10 plus from where I was at. All right. And it did this crazy dance and came all the way back down. And by the end of the day, the next day, in the after, right when it closed, it was at like $8.30. So I'm looking at it from a vantage point where I said, okay. And if you check out the last video, I'm like, look, we don't know what it's gonna do. So I'm not gonna load up on it with like 1,000 or 2,000 shares. I'm just gonna take another 100, because if it's moving $10, that's some extreme volatility. and I don't know what it's going to do. And the 52-week average, 52-week range, it was $1.92 within 52 weeks ago. Okay, so like you said, it's not. I don't focus on it being what I'm willing to lose, because I don't think any of us does anything. I don't think any of us plan to lose. So to say, and then the bet word, I'm not even, because see, it's energy. Like, it's energy to me. Like, the words, they're spells, and if we look at that as, you know, what are we praying for when we use these words? Because that's when you speak, your words have power, and it attracts what you're asking for. So I don't bet on anything. You know what I'm saying? So that one, okay. And then the fact that we're focused on willing to lose, I always speak in terms of risk, because we're not doing this to lose anything. Like, we would be fooling ourselves to even say, hey, look, it's okay. I mean, it's okay if you lose it, but you're not. That's not your purpose, right? So a loss would be a poor execution of a plan. You see what I'm saying? You see why that's like, it does something to me to hear it presented like that. So I almost can't. I process it on a different frequency, on a different wavelength. All right? Because we're not in the business of attracting losses. We're in the business of attracting risk, or evaluating risk, because with high risk comes great rewards. But with risk, you could lose too. But with high risk comes high rewards. With low risk comes low rewards. But normally you're analyzing your risk because you want to trending up. You know what I'm saying? That's your focus, is to go up. So I don't speak in terms of willing to lose, like, because I don't think my peeps on Big Board Peps plan to lose. So we got to change the way we present ourselves if we want to manifest a different set of results. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if that, again, that's just me. So when you hear me, you talking a certain way or looking at things a certain way, this is why. Now, you could easily say, well, Pasha, you told him not to catch a falling knife, and you bought into the stock while it was falling. Okay, so let me tell you what I did and why I did it. Again, I said this stock has the potential to be big, and we got a 30-day window while it's running up to a merger meeting, which normally is a period of time where stocks start to grow. And to have this sudden jolt is an anomaly. However, it could be a precursor of a larger move to come. Kind of like a pre-shock of a larger earthquake about to come. Now, even with that being said, I entered here, from 732. When the next day closed, I got in at 8:30. So I'm looking at it from a perspective of it's going up from where I was. It's up $1 from where I bought in last time. So I'm still buying up. I'm buying up. Stocks go up and down all day long. But I'm looking at it, if you see, and if you look at the channel I have here, right? My line of entry point from 732 to 832 is parallel to the channel. Because I'm expecting that even if it drops, you see how it fell back into the channel. Here's the channel. It went way out. This happens all the time. You go back and watch my videos. It happens all the time, but it doesn't happen as extreme. It might go out 40 cents over, $1 over, fall back in, come down out of the channel, come back up into the channel. So this happens all the time. But this is more of an exaggerated move of it. So in my mind, I'm buying up parallel, almost exactly parallel to my channel. And what that means is even though I bought in here at 830 something on the way down, my channel will intersect. Look. Because see, I'm not just here to tell you what I'm doing. I'm here so we can learn, okay? Cause I want you to be able to grow your communities. I don't want you to depend on me. So if I do this, and I know this is a crude little line, okay? But let's say we're at 835, 832, whatever. We'll just do it there. You get the idea. Even though I bought here and it's falling, the plane of 839, 832, whatever you want to call it, is going to intersect with my channel as early as tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? So even though it dropped today, if my planning is accurate and the execution is correct, this point here will be intersected sometime tomorrow and held. Worst case scenario, it drops out of the channel, and then I get to observe to see what do I feel like based on its current trajectory, if it's going to come back into my channel, which it normally always does. It may be, we done seen it take like a month sometimes, but it comes back in, right? We done seen it take like a month, and then it goes right to where I said it would go, and we miss a $20 jump because I got tired of waiting. But so far, they've all done exactly what I said they would do. Most of them when I said they would do them. Now, again, I'm not telling you what to do, and I'm not an expert, and this is not advice. I'm just letting you know what I'm looking at here. Okay? This is my logbook. This is my records that I'm sharing with you. Okay? For fun, entertainment. See, even my fun has a purpose and exercise. So like I said, but all right. So with that being said, right, I'm buying up, because now to put that in perspective of why that's different, for you to say you bought CGIX and you're down $500 and you're thinking about doubling down, forget the just because part. Like, I don't even want to say that, but you what I'm getting at is this. That means that your view, okay, so look, hold on. Oh shit. All right. So remember, my view is from here to here, I'm buying up parallel to the channel I have here, which means I'm aiming up. You know what I mean? If we're clay shooting, I'm aiming up with it. You see what I'm saying? You want to shoot that bird, you aiming up with it. That's it. I'm aiming up. All right. So now, for you to be down $500, I don't know how many stocks you have. I don't know what it is. It might have been just a 10-cent drop for you. It might have been a 50-cent drop for you, or it could have been $5. I don't know. But we're gonna say this is what your perspective looks like in comparison. All right. Something, and again, I don't know what dollar amount you entered in. I don't know. We know where it's at right now, but let's just say, for lack of just so you got the example, your line looks like this. If you buy back in now, okay, you bought up here, and again, for the people, just so this is a clear example on the chalkboard, I'm not saying this is where he bought in. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just using the example because the equation is still going to be the same. You bought in higher, and it's falling, and you're buying in lower. You see what I'm saying? Because what could happen is this could keep going like this, and then it could keep going like this, right? And tomorrow it could be at $2. So now you done bought in and doubled up, and then it keeps going down. That's what I mean by wait for it to establish the new floor. You see what I'm saying? if you're questioning, because you're saying just because, so that's, to me, that means you're going to buy in and you don't know why. And that people do that. I used to do that at some point in my life too, and I'm telling you, I learned from those situations. It's always good when you just happen to be lucky and it goes up, but when it goes down, it can hurt, depending on where you're at and growing your account, depending on what it means to you, etc. But like, just willing to lose stuff, we need to change that perspective. We're not willing to lose nothing. Okay, what we're willing to do is apply a certain amount of risk, and on the high end, this could happen. Worst case scenario, this could happen, but we're not focusing on losing. We're focusing on anything on this side of the plane, and worst case scenario, that may happen over there. We don't even talk about that. You know what I'm saying? We just know it exists as a possibility. All right, that's why you always hear me say, associate your risk. We're not putting money on the table to lose it. All right. So now what I'm getting at is, so that means that you're looking down, and that's why I said give it time. Now, if this establishes out and hangs out here for a while, which it's really comfortable at 675. Like, it actually wants to probably revisit that before it does anything else. Now, this yellow box here, from 583 to 651 is like I would say that's like the slipping point here. But the good news is that, like, right beneath this, all this is solid. Like, all this is solid right here. And then if it gets up above here, no, excuse me. If it gets basically everything above where it's at is solid too. But so right here where it's at, it's really solid. This is the only slipping point. So it could slip from 651. It would easily slip down to 583, but then it should maintain that based off what I see with and this box right here was my original box, and this box right here is the original, caution area. So for me, anything, like I said, anything in this box is green. That's safe. From what I saw, that's safe to enter based on your own assessment of your own personal risk, right? This box here, though, this part of it here is a slippage point, which still, even it is inside the green box. It just happens to be the bottom most part, but it should be good. You should be good. 583 should be the lowest. Again, nothing's guaranteed, right? But 583 should be the lowest this falls. And we saw how it could move in any given second. And at the same time, if we draw out this now, if we take this and consider this whole spike here that's out of the channel an anomaly, right? And just focus on this continuation of the channel, right? We are still pushing 889 to 992 by close, tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? So this channel, if this keeps following this channel, will be somewhere between 887 and 992 tomorrow, as long as it keeps following this channel. Now, if it drops out and falls down here, then nothing's guaranteed. But based off the trajectory currently, if we just take this massive surge as an anomaly, and then also you got to factor in there was a huge amount of volume, both positive and negative, right here at this time period anyway. So this surge wasn't like, we don't really know exactly why, right? Of course, why that at that moment, but the surge had a massive volume behind it. It wasn't just like a little bit of volume and a couple people would just push the stock up, which makes it, it is volatility, but it doesn't make it like unexplained volatility. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get at. So, and then another part of the reason why I felt comfortable entering in at 832 up $1, even though it dropped down, $10 at that point from where it was earlier in the day, is by that time the volume, even though it's still higher, the volume both positive and negative had returned closer to a realistic level of where it was before. Like this was extreme compared to when you look at the days before. You see what I'm saying? So by the end of the day, the volume had returned to what I felt like was sustainable based off of no news. Like this obviously wasn't sustainable. That's why it surged and it dissipated, and then it returned back to what could be seen now as a realistic amount of volume. See over here, the volume even today, right, with this level of volume was 11.5 million. The average volume is just over a million in a day. So even this day today is 11 times the average volume that it used to get before. So this right here was extremely out of character for it. So that's why I'm comfortable saying, okay, the channel's running this way. My line is parallel moving up. I'm buying up. Even though the stock's going to go up and down, I'm still buying up. So to me, buying down is something that I've been avoiding lately. I don't buy the dip. I buy the recovery. You know what I mean? So when I say dip, you might hear me say it. And what I'm getting at is like right now, it's down and we're in the bottom. So right now, if it turns up, I would be looking to buy as I see that it's establishing the upward trend. Because then that gives me an opportunity to say, hey, I bought in now. Let's say it turns up. Like here, it turned up. But obviously this wasn't, you know what I mean? You gotta judge for yourself based off your own, whatever. I'm giving it time to actually establish itself going back up. You see what I'm saying? Because you could buy in here and then it goes back down, see? So that's why I haven't touched it today. I got my buy-in on the up. I checked everything. Like when I show you this, and here's another thing you got to consider. You're down 500 on this one stock. I'm down $777.50 for the day on 13 stocks. And that's because of positioning and planning. So when I'm telling you I got 13 stocks right now, you're down 501 stock. I'm down 713. So that means some of mine did really well. Some of them did, and I'm down $777 on 13. So that management and that planning and that execution is still working for me, as far as I'm concerned. Because for the week I'm still up 5,500. You know what I'm saying? And that's with a very small portion, and I got the rest in cash. So the execution factor, because of the plan, is working for me. I don't mind this day. I don't mind seeing this. I don't want to see this every day, of course. Like I said, we haven't had a red day since we got back in. What's that, like 8 working days ago, 8 weekdays, but I guess that's 10 days total. We ain't had a red day in 10 days. So when you planning and you're executing, this number here looks different. It feels different. You know what I mean? Like I'm not on here trying to brag for y'all. This is called proof of concept. This is showing you that what I went over with you actually works. It's to build the confidence in you to try maybe something that you didn't think of before, or you're watching me do but you're hesitant to for whatever reason. Again, the purpose of this channel is to help everybody grow, because once you can grow the people around you. I'm investing in people that will never know me or know of me, because if I can get invested in you and you start doing well, you can invest in the people around you, and that's how one man can change the world by itself. So let's get that straight first. All right, I'm not in competition with anybody. There's people out there with tens of millions of dollars in their account, and they're throwing that around like sacks of potatoes, and they're doing huge numbers. So I'm doing this I'm making these numbers you're seeing on here with about 15 to 20% of my total, what I got access to. So when you see it, like yesterday, when you see $2,400, yesterday, based on what I had in, I have made 50% of all my money back. And the goal is to get it to 100% of what I put in, and then I could sell half of it and let that ride. I get even that now, even though we lost that time with the hesitating, we pulled everything out from the first part of the big play phase 1. We were 50% on the way to be able to do it again with everything that we got in 13 different stocks. And right now we're at like 40 something percent. This is small. You see what I'm saying? So once we hit 100, we're back to where we were, and everything is free. All right. So what I'm getting at is, to me, this is still catching the falling knife if you bought in way up here, because it hasn't established the floor yet. Like, this has just been one day. It's trading flat, but what's it gonna do tomorrow? You see what I'm saying? That's the question. And because of this surge, we're really watching the ripple effect of volume. If this volume continues to just drop back down to what it was, we could see it stall out. We could see it stagnant. We could see it drop. We don't know yet. So if you're talking about you're down 500, I would wait till it's coming back up before you buy back in. That's me. Because like I said, if you buy in, even if you're now, again, and also here's another thing you got to consider. What is your availability at that moment? Remember, I'm working on a lot of different things right now, and like I told you guys at December, I was purposely taking days off, just using the rest of my vacation time at the volunteer slavery, and I was taking and training for like daily trades, you know what I'm saying, and swing trading. So that was what I was doing in that time, was practice. It was practice and execution. It was proof of concept. That's what I'm saying. Everything for me has a purpose. Even the vacation days. Like, you take a vacation day, what you gonna do? Man, I'm gonna work on this training exercise. Oh yeah, what you doing? Stocks. You know what I'm saying? Because one day they're gonna take the place of this. Right? You see what I'm saying? So I got to get good at it. I got to perfect everything. I'm a Virgo. We got a huge problem with that. Right? So here we go. So if you're sitting there and you're in a day trading mode and you're in the computer and that's what you're doing for that moment, then when I'm in that position, I would have maybe bought into this little dip, but I'm buying into it knowing that I'm here with it. And if I buy in at 668, I could watch it go up, and when it starts doing this funky shit here at 725, I could sell. And what that does is, if I bought in enough here, you might even be able to make up your $500 loss just from getting that 60-cent climb. So you could go back to being not down 500, but being down 0. So I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I can't. You know what I mean? Now, if you're in a position like where I'm at right now, I got some huge projects I'm working on, at work, and like the one, it's over $1 million project, and at this moment I'm really, really busy with it, and I don't have much free time, so that's why I position these entry points to be long held, because I don't have time to check on them. You see what I'm saying? And I had to make sure I was in position in the right place at the right time to know that I could trust these versus others to do what I needed to do while I'm doing this over here. And then when I get done doing this over here and get a little bit of a mental break or a break, I can come in and do some other execution exercises, like some quick pops or something here and there, but I just don't have time for that right now, February 2021, coming out of January, because of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And then I'm working on some music. I got some projects I'm working on for other people, some logos, stuff like that. So I don't have as much time right now. So I got to just bridge this gap. You see what I'm saying? So that's why, based on why you got into it, what you're trying to have it do for you, you can't, don't, let's get away from saying I'm going to do something just because. I want us to all work on execution, planning, and that's the only way you can measure your results. You can't measure luck. You know what I mean? Like a lot of what I'm working on right now is project management. You can't measure luck. You have to create a baseline. You have to establish something to be able to measure and judge and gauge your own personal success of results from. So I can't quantify luck. However, I can measure the accuracy of my planning versus the actuals of the results. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we improve our situations in the future, so that when we step out into this world full time, we're not basing our family security or sustaining our world. We're not basing that on luck. Okay? So CGIX, we could be, what we say, we could be somewhere, we could be as high as $10 tomorrow. It could be a nice 864 if it continues this trajectory, and there's a whole another infinity of things it could be. So take a look at that. Based on right now, I think this purple box is gonna be a good, like I said, if it continues over time, that could be tomorrow, it could be sometime next week. I think we should definitely be seeing this purple or blue box here. I forget what color I picked it, and I got my shades on, so you know everything's tinted. But and then this yellow area here, it went there, but because it didn't stay long enough, there's not enough data to really show supports, because everything's tainted from the extreme drop. So everything looks heavy on the drop from here up, and it's only because there's so little bit of time is spent up here that the resistance overcame everything to drive it back down. So up here, it's gonna be where I call the warning area. If you get up here, if you're looking to lock in profits, this would be the place to do it. I think this is a slip point here. If it drops below here, it could slip down to 583 is how I'm looking at it. But it's still in the green box. So anywhere in my original green box is probably a good time to buy. It just matters if, you know, how long, if it drops back down, how long would it take for it to come back up to that level, if it does at all. But like I said, you see mine's entry points was really tight together. They were only $1 apart. And that's why I'm only going with the 200 shares, the 100 here and the 100 there, because at this point, the risk goes up if I buy more. This risk is manageable. It's comfortable. You see what I'm saying? And because I bought in at 732 and 832, if you average that, you know, meet in the middle there, what's that? Probably about you know, like high sevens, so maybe 780, 790. You consider I could bought in for 790. That means I'm actually only after all this activity and even down to here where it's at now, I'm really only lost an average of $1 a share at the most. So that's nothing if we're expecting it to see $10 tomorrow. I'll be back in the plus with it. And that's what I'm saying. So I've learned over the last few months a lot, a whole lot since all these new trials and exercises I've been doing since October. And that's partly how I can hold 13 stocks, where, not to mention 13 stocks, and 11 out of 13 of them had red days today. 11 out of 13 of my stocks actually had red days today. And I'm only down 750. So 11 out of 13 of my stocks had red days. Now, I don't know what I'm not saying, like, I'm not counting your pockets. I don't know where you're at. But what I'm saying is, this is a result of lessons that I've learned, to be able to say that I had 11 stocks in the red out of 13. and I'm only down $700. You have one, and you're down 500 on it. So I hear you what you're saying, and I see a lot of conflict in the energy of it. And for everybody out there, let's focus on executing a plan, and that means we know why we're in a certain position exactly at that very moment, which includes why we're in at this price point down to the change. Okay? And that's how we're going to make sure that we can support our families, your livelihoods, and continue to grow whatever it is you're trying to grow around you, and it not be based off of luck. And it's not a gamble, and it's not a bet. You're executing a plan. I'm Pasha Pyro. It's YNet7. Thank you for tuning. The replay. Na, 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 na.